This is a review of the book The Human Factor in Chess by Karsten, Müller and Engel. I find this book extremely interesting because practically the authors base themselves on another work of Grandmaster Lars Bo Hansen, which invented or based these four personalities, I think, on a business model. And these personalities are activists, pragmatics, theorists, and the reflectors. Now, it might be true or not true, but the book is really great, in my opinion, because not only it gives you the strength and weaknesses of this type of players, and maybe, of course, it's more real for professional, but it also gives you games in which it shows where the type of character went wrong, and it also gives you a lot of exercises. So the book is everything you can dream of. You can practically want to learn about psychology in chess, you get it. You want to see chess games annotated, you get it. You want to see exercises, you get it. With that said, I will show one game, as always, but probably you cannot find online when you see at the book. By the way, the book was published by Joachim Beyer-Verlag, JBV Chess Book. It's a German publisher that really makes an interesting work in publishing these books that are kind of a niche. And the fact that also the book is not huge, it can be brought in one own pocket. Okay, so this game that I'm going to show you is between Shirov and Polgar Judith. It was played in Buenos Aires in 1994. E4, C5, knight f3, E6, D4, C takes D4, knight takes D4, knight C6. Knight c3, d6. And now there is an interesting move already, g4. Wow. There is a book by New in Chess about this kind of push. So for those who are interested, eventually I will review also that book. a6, bishop e3, knight g e7, knight b3, b5, f4, bishop b7, and queen f3. Queen f3 is given a dubious sign, and there is an annotation. Before this game, this was the normal move, but Judith Polgar convincingly proves that f3 is an unfortunate place for the queen. How does she prove that? Well, you could pause the video and try to find out. Why? Because while I care to review the books, I also want to give the person who watch a learning experience. Otherwise, we are just wasting our time, right? So what do I mean for learning experience? I hope that you will improve a little, that you will more active in your learning and in your chess improvement. Okay, so it seems there was, we are at move 10, and Judith Polgar played this amazing move, g5, an extremely inspired novelty. How did White continue here? This is also important for you. If you were White, what would you play? Well, it seems that Shirov played f takes g5, which is not so good. And of course, if you eventually pause the video and try to find it yourself, it seems that castling was a better choice. Okay? So f takes g5, knight e5. So obviously now we see why this move is not good and why that move was played. Because black wanted to control the square e5 and go there with his piece. And that also gives, imagine how many pieces now are under attack by this bishop. Huh? Very interesting move. Queen g2, b4, knight e2. And now there is another diagram here, because the next move by black is really creative. So, if you want to pause the video, it's a good moment and think for yourself and see if you are as creative as Judith Polgar. The next move is h5, double exclam, very creative, a typical strength of activists. So, we know that Polgar Judith was an activist. As long as the dynamic pressure can be increased, they don't let go. What did Shirov play in this position? He played g takes h5, which is not good. This undynamic move suits black well, while after long castle and h take g4, all three results would have still been possible. Okay, so it seems that this was really a kind of blunder. How did black continue here? He continued with knight f5. Imagine how amazing is this move. Why is this move possible? Because, like I told you before, this bishop that has been liberated by knight e5 is a monster practically. And this is also kind of typical of a Sicilian defense. So in many of the games you will see this kind of bishop that becomes very powerful on that diagonal. In any case, activists are often not that good at defense. Of course, only in relation to the very high level of their attack skills. So obviously, yes, Judith Polgar is really good at defense, but in attacking she is really a monster. How did white continue? With another mistake. Bishop f2. Another mistake. The alternative, it seems, was he takes f5, bishop takes g2, bishop takes g2, and rook c8, h4, knight c4, and bishop f2 offer a better chance of fishing in murky waters. And now, obviously, I will pause a second for me and try to recreate the position from which we saw this line. Okay, I think I put the position back as it was. Notice that in doing so, I repeated the moves from the beginning because I tried to savor and better understand the game. And I noticed one thing. In reality, when after move knight f5, the authors wrote activists are often not that good at defense, of course, only in relation to the very high level of their attack skills. It was meant probably for Shirov, not for Polgar, sorry. So Shirov is the one that this comment was meant about. And Shirov made the mistake, bishop f2, from which we saw the line. How did black continued here? Very interesting move. I think you can find it if you have a tactical skills, because the move is queen takes g5. And you say, but whoa, wait a minute. Why? I can take on g5, right? Well, not really. And I hope you will discover why, okay? But how did Shirov continue? it seems that he played knight a5, and white is completely lost at this point. Okay, knight e3, a tremendous counter blow. Obviously, once more, why white cannot take on g5? Please stop the video. You need to pause the video and answer by yourself, because this is very simple. If you take on g5, there is a checkmate, okay? So white played queen g3, and the game continued with just a few moves, like 12 moves, that I will show you now, okay? Queen takes g3, knight takes g3, knight takes c2, king d1, knight takes a1, knight takes b7, the monster is gone, b3, a takes b3. This was an interesting move, because it created a way for this knight to escape. If it wasn't here, it would have escaped here, okay? Okay, so knight takes b3, king c2, knight c5, knight takes c5, d takes c5, bishop e1, knight f3, bishop c3, knight d4, king d3, bishop d6, bishop g2, bishop e5, blocking this from moving, king c4, king e7. In this case, you see it doesn't castle, but it puts in connection the rooks, rook a1, and the last move of the game is knight c6, to which probably Shirov resigned. We are at move 29, okay, move 29. I think it's a beautiful game, and obviously there are many beautiful games in this book, and there are a lot of exercises that will help you become more aware of your strengths and weaknesses. Also, if maybe this model is not scientific, okay? But I think it's a very interesting way to try to label the chess player and give us an idea of who we are.